motion. Anything to shake this mood I'm in. My football team's got me drinking.
Back at it again with another shade of blue. We are the KC Soccer Journal. My name is Cody Bradley. Full Zoom chat here tonight. Thad Bell, Kerry Robinson, and David Greenwald are all here with me. We are going to talk some roster moves. It has finally happened. Sporting Kansas City has 4 players from the 17 who are out of contract. We're going to talk about all of that. We've got some current. Thad has a new game for us. I'm calling it Thad's Connections, but I don't know anything more than that. I'm stealing that from the New York Times. Well, then you got to give me a better name by the time we start that segment. Coming in segment 2. So you got some time here, Thad. Get ready. Let's dive into the roster moves. What's up, Thad?
The roster? Yeah, a lot of moves.
I'm sorry. When you do that thing where you're like, and you open your mouth like you're about to say something.
I did not raise any fingers, man.
You inhaled like you were about to say something.
Cody, you've been doing this long enough with Thad that you should know that he just does that sometimes.
I know.
I'm reading at the same time.
So you didn't have anything. You're ready to dive into the roster moves.
Yes.
You've thought about them thoroughly. Kerry's been studying. David's over there, got his takes ready. So let's just jump right in.
Wait, you want to know how
Kerry.
I found out? I mean, I think it was like 9 p.m. for me, 10 p.m. Me and Isaac were in Naples, Italy still, trying to find our way to like the airport area to get, and our phones were low. We had no service because like our plans were out of data. We were probably at like 10%, and we got the notification and we stopped, just looked to see.
The important details that you need. Screw that flight. You got to figure out what happened to Sporting KC. Okay, so Sporting KC exercised the options for just 4 of those 17 players. Those players are Steven Afrifa, Zoran Basong, Jansen Miller, and John Pulskamp. That any qualms there, any surprises out of those 4 names that they chose to keep?
I guess the surprise would be Afrifa. Not that he cost a lot of money, but just that he did not do anything this year. So I thought he would have been gone. But
yeah, I think that's interesting. It's like he fell out of favor with the people who were making decisions this season, and now that person has maybe changed it a little bit. Is that part of this, you think?
I think that maybe David Lee just sees that you have to have enough players to actually field the lineup. And
fair enough.
Because they're down to 12. There's 12 players on the roster. 2 of them are keepers. 2 of them are defenders. I don't know. Maybe Afrifa's the next left back, right back. What do you think?
The next versatile player. No, he was like, how many players can I possibly sign in one offseason? I've got to keep some of these guys. Kerry, are you surprised by any of these?
I am, and especially when you think about, Afrifa got a little bit more playing time in the last few games, probably because David Lee was, looking to see what he got. But, he touched the ball. You go to Twitter and everyone's just like, well, that was his one chance.
Yeah. He was kind of treated like that a little bit.
Both Lee and Kerry said that Kerry Zavagnin said that was not, there was never a told to who play kind of situation. I don't know. I totally believe it, but I'll take them at their word, sort of.
So Jansen Miller and John Pulskamp, those are the 2 ones that I think were the easy decisions, right, David? What do you think of Zoran Basong in there? We spent some time at the beginning of the season kind of questioning, maybe citing him as a reason. Look at how the lack of depth that this team has. We're relying on this guy. And then he became a very key player. Great locker room guy, great vibes, ready to get down in all the scraps. So yeah, actually, I think maybe I just talked myself into keeping him. What do you think?
You just did like a whole thing without me. I think this is the podcast.
We're kind of used to that, David. Sorry.
Oh, well, fair. But
he had his mic muted, so I was giving him some time to gather his thoughts.
I'm
I just don't want and hosting.
I just didn't want you to yell at me because you can hear my kids in the background yelling at each other. No, I like this idea.
Let him just hear things.
I like this idea of Cody doing a whole podcast by himself where he throws to other people but never lets them talk.
Yeah, I just throw and then I just start talking.
Yeah. Look, the song is like a good depth guy, right? He's a rotational guy. This team is not going to go far with Zoe playing a ton of minutes.
Okay.
But when you need to rotate, when you need a guy off the bench who can give you some solid minutes, I mean, he's fine. He's a perfectly fine player. He's got a good attitude. He seems to be a good locker room guy. But it's tough to be super jazzed about most of the guys coming back on a team that finished at the bottom. Um,
That's
but
fair.
he is, and Mike Kuhn is a big guy on the end of the stat that Sporting, has to have a player who gets called up to international duty, whether it's Marinos Jonis playing for Cyprus or Zoe is a full Canadian international, and they might be the best team in CONCACAF.
I'm with Mike on the importance of having national team players, regardless if it is Cyprus. I'm with him on that.
If we get a Botswana international, I'm getting that kit day one.
Botswana versus Bolivia. That's what you need.
Okay, should we move on to those who are gone? Do we mention Jansen Miller enough? That
We
a lot
did
about
not.
the defense. There's one defender that is back off of a historically bad defense for this team.
Two defenders, Ian James and Jansen Miller.
Right.
So
That
Jansen
on
was
my
one of the ones
list.
kept. They extended they exercised his option. Ian James still under contract, but just 17. Jansen is the senior veteran defender. Although remember, Basong can play left back also.
Yeah, that is a crazy sentence, and you're not even wrong.
That's the best kind of sentences. I'm not wrong.
Jansen and Ian James, the 17-year-old, is one of the longest players on this Sporting
Yeah.
KC team
one
right
of the,
now.
one of the longest tenured
Yes, he is.
guys. He and Shallowy. No, look, I mean, Jansen deserved the contract. Jansen was one of the few bright spots this year. It was
Because he
obvious
shaved
to
his
bring him
head.
back.
I think it was in the air till he shaved his head, and then it was like, well, we got to keep this guy.
No,
Really?
he was good enough.
You say that as a man who has like a luscious mane of fiery red hair.
That's
I
right.
think he got less playing time once he shaved his head.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think you're right, actually. But that was because they had made their decision.
I don't think they had.
I'm telling you, he went from accountant to formidable defender after that move, and that secured his place here for sure. Let's move on to those who were declined. I'm just going to start reading the list here. Tim Leibold, Nemanja Radia, Ryan Sheway, Kyrie Shelton, and Mason Toy. The Kyrie Shelton era has come to an end. David Greenwald, what do you think about this?
My thoughts on Kyrie are very well known. Kyrie is a really, really good dude. He is a great humanitarian. He was a good locker room guy. I don't even think he was that bad playing this year. I think he was an acceptable level at right back. The fans have not liked Kyrie for a very long time. They didn't like him the first time. They didn't like him the second time. It's probably cleaner for everybody to just have a nice clean break.
I'm with you on that.
I would
Carrie,
agree.
any of these that surprise you that are gone?
Surprising? No, probably that gray area that David Lee kind of talked about, because in the press conference he kind of said that him and the rest of the coaching staff, for the most part, were agreeable, had who they knew they wanted to let go of and who to keep, and there are a few gray areas. Tommy's got to be that one of those gray areas.
Yeah.
I mean, he's your captain. Yes, he costs a lot, and he is no longer the savior that he was in 2023, when he was that please help us. 22, sorry.
Yes, that was please help us era for him. I guess I should say, yeah, you went into the ones that were just out of contract. The list that I gave before
Oh,
was
sorry.
that we declined to bring back. Out of contract is including even more players here. Andrew Brody, Joaquin Fernandez, Logan and Denbay, Memo Rodriguez, Eric Tommy, and Robert Volater. Okay, thank you.
No, I think what's important here, if you look at kind of some of the guys who are no longer here, Radia's 32, Leibold's almost 32, Kyrie's 31, turning 32, or he's already 32, Tommy's 31. We just got rid of a bunch of dudes who are on kind of the closer to the end than the beginning.
Much closer.
Sad we can't play anymore. Is Tim Leibold attractive or not?
When were we playing that?
Famously,
Did we ever play that? Did
There
you
was
ever
one-
play that?
Yes, we did. One time, Robert stopped the podcast to point out how attractive, how handsome Tim Leibold was, and I could not have disagreed anymore. But at the same time, I get it. He's like this two-face. Like he's debonair, like if you put him in some construction clothes and like he'd be like a rugged, good-looking man. But then also if you put him in the right hoodie and sweatpants, he would look like everyone in Independence.
Okay, hold
I
on.
think
Did you hold on?
I
Did
don't
you say
I don't know about
debonair?
the independence part.
Hold on. No. Did you say debonair and then how did you describe it? He would look debonair if you put him in some what?
He's just a rugged. I can see what Robert was getting at, that he's like
No.
rugged, debonair man.
Do you know what
If he
debonair means?
was if he was in a Halloween costume, Cody's imagining him in a
Yes.
sexy Halloween costume.
Okay. I don't know
Yeah.
about imagining that, but
I don't, and I still don't think debonair. I'm agreeing with David here. Debonair is probably not the right word. Outdoor, rugged, brawny kind of guy that would be carrying a little axe and chopping down some trees next
there
to
you go.
Yeah.
Zeusy out in the
There you go.
campground.
Yeah,
That
Maybe
helps.
lumbersexual.
that. Maybe he'd be out there with him finding some things that could be used to smoke various foods. I don't know, but
That was a long pause.
Yeah, I like hearing what Thad's vision of a man and what masculinity
well,
is
I'm
now.
just
Well,
going with
no.
what you said, man.
Well, yeah,
That's
debonair is James Bond.
yeah.
I
That's
know,
a
but
Debonair
top.
is
yes.
not a lumbersexual dude.
Well, have you seen him in a suit when he's walking up pregame? Like he cleans up real nice. He can
That's
be
more like
debonair.
Bond villain, not
Yeah,
Bond.
but like Johnny was debonair.
Yeah, he was.
Tim
Still
Leibold
is,
is
even with
Tim,
the beard.
Tim Leibold is, I don't know, something else. Tim,
Independence.
you're a wonderful guy. I don't think you belong in Independence, but I also don't think debonair is the right adjective for you.
No, he was a good guy. Every time we talked to him, he's a pretty good guy.
Okay.
The independence slander is insane.
I mean, it's my least favorite of the suburbs of
That's
Kansas
crazy
City.
because it is my favorite because
And
I'm from there. But
It's
You don't look
barely
like Leibold at all.
I like
yeah,
it's
exactly.
Independence and Raytown are like fighting neck and neck to
Raytown.
be just the worst.
I should have gone with Raytown. I'm sorry, Carrie. I didn't know I was disparaging your hometown.
Yeah, you were. Come on.
Learn something new every day.
You didn't use air quotes when you said town.
Well, I'm glad we finally put a bow on that with Tim Leibold.
I don't know. It
So-
feels like we should be calling up Robert at the Chiefs game to get
Yeah.
his thoughts on this right
Yeah.
now.
Well,
Do it, Thad. Call him.
I have a theory. I have a theory on why Robert may have said that. It may have made him look better by comparison.
Well, it's an important show. Roster moves happen. We were gonna have all hands on deck. And then Robert got a cheap ticket to the Chiefs game. We're recording here Monday night. It is about to start. Go Chiefs. Carrie's all geared up. She's ready for the game. I got people outside my house. So if you hear murmuring behind me, it is that is what that is. I apologize.
It's not just in your head like for Cody.
Now,
Hey,
Robert
I've been vindicated every time. I'm good at hearing the imperfections.
Robert did tell me he was going to be looking for Taylor Swift. So he said he was in his showgirl era and that he was hoping to
That sounds
bump into Taylor.
like him.
So I'm sure that's why he went.
No,
Right.
have you seen that they put up walls so you can't see her anymore? When she walks in the hallway, they bring out some barrier so people don't take pictures of her anymore.
No, it's bulletproof. So she doesn't. It's like a
No,
weird thing, but it's meant to be bulletproof.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
So different player though, Mason Toy.
Huge
Okay,
bump.
I like that one.
I am a little
Surprised.
sad.
I said surprised on that one slightly.
Yeah,
But I
was-
mean, he probably wants to, now that he's proved himself a little bit more than he has at other clubs, maybe he's thinking he can go somewhere else and get a little bit more playing time.
I forget the exact amount, but it was like 350,000, I think. And a free foot was way cheaper, so that's probably why.
Yeah.
I think Toy's contract, if they kept him, probably would have jumped up some. But on the flip side of that, if you go goals plus assists per 90 minutes, he was the highest one on the club.
Yeah.
He had 0.87 goals plus assists per 90 minutes. The next closest was some guy named Dayon with only 0.65. After that was another guy they got rid of, 0.57, Eric Tommy, 0.52 with Santi Munoz, who is an unknown at this point. So,
Yeah, Mason Toy is one of those guys. Someone else in Major League Soccer will probably pick him up pretty quick.
He's like the quintessential MLS guy,
Mm-hmm.
where he's just gonna be in the league forever. He's never gonna like win the Golden Boot, but he's just gonna consistently be like a decent player on a bunch of different teams. It reminds me almost of like Teal Bunbury to an extent. Um,
Backup
or
striker is a
or
pretty
like
good.
CJ, like where CJ kind of like had a little bit of a journeyman career, but was like
Yeah.
consistently like decent. And so I'm bummed Mason left because I thought he always looked solid. He was a good rotational piece. He wasn't going to be agitating to be starting over Decky.
But he fit in well if you did a dual striker up there. He had speed. He could get in behind. He could finish on a decent rate. So I kind of I will miss him. And I just again we don't know the amount of money it would have bumped up to, so that may have made it that would have maybe precluded what David Lee wanted to do with the money he had.
Yeah, with so much money coming off the books, I can't imagine that like the extra, let's say 100,000 or 150,000 was going to matter that much.
Yeah, it doesn't matter much until it all adds up. And that's what has killed this team over the last few
Sure.
years.
Yeah, but I mean, like, Radio was on over a million. Tommy was on over a million. Joaquin wasn't cheap. I don't know. It's a bummer because Afrifa's never really shown. Afrifa shows flashes. He shows glimpses enough that like so many of us are curious to see more, but he's never actually like proven anything. Whereas Toy is at least a proven player in the league.
Let's talk about the two U22 players that are gone, Logan Denbe and Robert Volader. The Cavs are no more, Thad. I guess maybe this is one I was surprised about. He seemed quite useful. That's another guy that I would assume someone else in Major League Soccer would find some use for him, if not even as a backup.
Yeah, I mean, he's not a bad left back. It just, I think one, I think one thing that we maybe don't talk about with what David Lee's decisions was looking not just at the money, because obviously that's a big deal, but also at what he considers the right winning attitude, perhaps. And that might be part of why some of those guys left, is he just wants a complete refresh, and the only ones he wants is guys who are either going to fight for it or shows that potential, I guess.
And we think Logan is not one of those guys.
I don't know that he's not. I'm just saying maybe that's what part of what he was looking at with some of these decisions, and that could have been part of it with Logan. Plus the amount of money he would be potentially asking for.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he thinks he can find somebody better in this window or the next window for that amount of money because they're rolling off the U22s. They're not
Yeah.
that cheap. And when they're U22s, they're a different budget category. So he probably thinks he can go out and find at least one U22 outside back that is better for that money.
And probably the exact same situation with Volader as well.
Yes.
So I have a question. The U22 initiative came about, what, 3 years ago? Something like that, right? 4 years ago.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like it's got to be more than that now because they just did their
It's
3 years, right?
So, well, this was the first initial group, right? The mechanism came through, and then we immediately signed Jonis, Volader, and
Oh,
and
I
and
didn't know
Denbe.
I didn't know that was immediate.
So we signed three, and then they changed the rules, and now you can do the extra. You could do two DPs and four U22s, right?
Right.
Or is it-
And get bonus money.
So we've signed three of them. How would you rate our success with that? On from an A to an F,
Irrelevant.
from an A to an F, what would you give the Volader signing?
I mean, it's nowhere close to an A or a B because both of those would be reserved for. I mean, that's the point of a U22. It's a player you're bringing in to be impactful and grow into a career here in this league and be a superstar eventually. I mean, isn't that in theory the idea of this, Thad?
I don't know if all of them are supposed to grow to superstars, but it's people you can sell on or have become a regular player. Yes.
And they did
Okay.
none of those things.
Correct.
Now with Volader. Okay.
I'd probably give like a D, and maybe people would think that it's higher for the season, but if you think about it, 2 of the 3 seasons, he did not do good. He did not see the field.
Okay. It's tough to disagree. I mean, he just didn't do much of anything. He didn't get a lot of opportunities. When he did, he didn't show out.
I mean, I
So,
think I've said this a few times on the pod. If you look at our U22 signings, I would have said that I mean, the initiative was not good for Sporting because we had 1 out of 3 work in Logan and Dembe. except for this recent year, then I would have said 2 out of 3, that's fine. But it took the third year to finally get to 2 positive players.
So what about, okay, we'd all agree Janice didn't work out.
Under that management, correct.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I don't know that he's lit the world on fire since he left either.
Yeah, just saying.
Sure. No, totally fair. So let's talk about Logan's legacy. I mean, we'll always have that St. Louis game.
2 of them.
Yes, we will. No one can ever take that from
He'll
us.
forever be a legend for that.
Yep. He deserves a little corner stained glass piece of something somewhere.
Yes, 100%.
Like right underneath Ilya. Like in the corner, like in the bottom corner.
Well, that's the Catalan Cafe. That's a different area of the stadium. So get
No,
that
this
right.
Ilya has the stained glass. We created it for him.
Okay.
Yeah. And
Fontes is
Um,
is waiting tables at the Catalan Cafe.
Okay, who else haven't we mentioned here? We have not talked about Joaquin Fernandez, another center back that's gone. Very famous first goal for him as an own goal. Short-lived for Joaquin, Thad.
deservedly so.
Andrew Brody also gone. Hardly knew ye.
He was there just as a backup of somebody who has actually played right back at some point in their life as a position. Not Kyrie, not Jake, but he couldn't beat out either of those guys, and he was hurt. So I appreciate your time. Back to Salt Lake.
So these are the 12 players that are sporting Kansas City players at this exact moment. Goalkeepers, Jack Courtcamp, John Polskamp. Jack Courtcamp, Daily News. Defenders, Ian James, Jansen Miller. 2 defenders on the entire roster. Midfielders, 4 midfielders. Jacob Bartlett, Zoran Basong, Jake Davis, and Manu Garcia. The forwards are Steven Afrifa, Dejan Jovic, Daniel Shallowy, and Shoppy made the cut. Shoppy remains, David. What do you think about that?
It makes me sad.
He was under
Okay,
contract. He wasn't kept because it was an option. He was under contract.
Yeah,
Same
I
reason
didn't
that a couple others were kept.
I didn't
David-
expect for him to leave, but it still made me sad.
David Lee did say in the press conference, I was waiting for him to he was hyping up all these players, and he named basically almost all 12 players, and I was waiting for Jansen and Ian James just to hype them up as well. But he went for Shoppy, and
Okay.
he hyped up Shoppy, and he said, I think that he can still improve in the league, and that he did good this
There you go.
season.
Is
See, I
he
knew I
gonna
liked
get
David Lee.
He can still improve in the league. Yes, he can. I completely agree. He
He's gonna
can.
learn to play with both feet? That'd be cool.
So Thad, those 12 players, that is our team. That is the team we love. That's the club we love. What do you think?
I think for a base of a team that's going to be rebuilt and added to for a long time, it's not a bad base. You have Dayon, good, we know how good he is. We have Manu, pretty darn good, attacking mid. We have Pulskamp, who I think is pretty decent. Ian James, I think, is going to grow into be a really good defender. I think Miller will grow into could potentially grow into be a very solid MLS defender. I don't think he's quite there yet, but he's has that potential. You have a lot of players who are role players after that.
It is a good base. I'm with you on that. I've said before, I think we have one player on all 4 lines of the field that are meaningful and inspire some hope going forward. So yeah, I think having a good base is exactly what they are, but it is still all on David Lee, Carrie.
It is. It's exciting, but also very scary.
We're
'Cause
like
we've
little
never-
baby birds in the palm of his hand.
We've never seen this before. We've never experienced this. So, David
Thad,
Lee,
Thad,
you are in control of our mental health.
Thad, you've been around a long time. Have you seen this before? Are you prepared for this mentally?
I'm prepared, yes. There was that year that Peter got rid of like a bunch of players. They called it like the
Yeah.
Red Wedding because of the Game of Thrones stuff, the
Yeah.
Blue Wedding, Sporting Blue Wedding or whatever.
If that tells you how long ago this was.
Yeah, I don't remember how many players were all let go at that time, and they brought in a bunch of new players.
God, are we that old? Was the Red Wedding on HBO like a decade ago. I think that was about a decade ago.
You
I don't
say
know.
we, and then Carrie immediately gives a look of like, she's young.
Carrie,
She's still,
no, that's not about being young or old. The show's not that old. It's just she doesn't watch movies and shows.
but you said, are we that old? And Carrie is over here and actually understands pop culture, like things like 6'7", and you have the boyish thing going on, but you're an old man.
Okay,
You've been doing this podcast
I'll allow
when
that.
we started this, and you were confused by Thad and like him opening his mouth or whatever.
You
I
think I'm
realized
not
something.
confused
No,
by
no, no,
that
no,
still?
no, no. I realized something though, which is that you shouldn't be confused. How long have you been doing this podcast, Cody?
Well, that's not a statement on
No, no,
me.
no, no,
That's a
no, no, no,
statement on
no, no, no. Hold
Thad.
on, hold on. I'm
He's a
making a point.
weird person.
No, Cody, I'm making a point. How long have
I
you been
own
doing this
that.
podcast? How many years?
We are on. This is season 8, so it's about to have been 9 full seasons that we have done this.
Okay. You realize that you spent the vast majority of your like formative young adulthood with that.
Yeah, absolutely. I have.
You're like mid-20s to mid-30s with
I don't have
that.
I don't have many regrets in my life, but
And that's what I'm doing.
I'm glad I started over with Carrie because I think she might be more successful. But hey, I've been pretty successful. We've had Allie Trost. She's went on to greatness. I mean, Carrie maybe will go on to be great. I don't know.
I'm racing towards mediocrity. I mean, like sprinting
Right.
towards it.
That's the only way you sprint.
Hey,
I can roll downhill to it.
when the train gets moving, it goes quicker than you'd expect.
Oh, trust me, I know. That's why everything hurts.
So, we just unloaded a whole bunch of guys. I'm looking at an article from our website, the Kansas City Soccer Journal. Go to kansascitysoccerjournal.com or kcsoccerjournal.com.
there you go.
Next year, sorry, shameless plug that I didn't get right the first time. Next year, it looks like it's only Shallowy and Shappy who are up. And then Shappy's got an option for 2027.
I mean, that stands to reason. If more than half the roster was out this year, then there can't be that many next year.
I just think it's interesting.
Probably everybody that was just the options picked up too. So probably all of them are available too.
Right.
So
yeah.
Pulse Camp, Jansen, Zoe, for example, are probably I don't know, Jake might be. I'm not sure if he's still for another. He's probably for another year.
Mhm.
But yeah, so like at least those three that they picked up options for.
Yeah, Jake's through 2027 with a 2028 option.
Okay. Also to remember that David Lee said that they are still negotiating with Sheway and Santiago Munoz.
Yeah, I
Cody,
guess
do you want Munoz to come back?
Yeah, well, we spent time on that exact question, and I think a lot of people here were like, "Yeah, bring him back if it's for the right price." And I was just on the realm of, well, they already agreed. Like the powers that be heard the price and agreed to that, and if they like him, then they would keep him for that. But so that's why this is interesting to me that they're like, "Well, we do like him, but we would like him for less than you're asking."
Yeah, but it's new powers that be.
Exactly.
That's,
Yeah, absolutely.
and I started to give David crap earlier, but when he was talking about, did these U22s work out and stuff? And anything that we talk about, and we've had discussions in Slack and on pods before that team didn't sell players, didn't do this, they've not been transactional enough, they haven't been on the market, all these other things. Absolutely true. However, it's all irrelevant now because this is a completely different scenario. This is David Lee the present, not Peter the previous.
Ooh, that's good. Speaking of Game of Thrones,
Former Tsar of Russia, Peter the Previous.
yeah, those are good Game of Thrones names. Good job.
That's just the way it is. I mean, anything we say, the team didn't do this or didn't do that or hasn't done this or should have done this. It's now we don't know. We don't know what Lee will do. I think he's going to be much smarter about how he does this. He's much more in tune with that aspect of it. And then what's the next coach going to do? Is he going to bring in a MLS reject? Please no Armis. Is he going to bring in a coach that was coming up in third division in England? I don't know, but it's going to be interesting. It's going to be worth writing a lot of articles and a lot of emergency pods and a lot of I'm going to scramble to get the first piece of article written out there.
And if we wanted to find those articles, we would go to the kcsoccerjournal.com.
There you go. Got it that time.
You are correct, David. It's been a great resource. And I'd almost say a lot more, but that's like what the stupid spam comes in and says, "You're such a great resource, but I'm confused. Could you please elaborate by this?" And I go, click.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that was a joke for just us because our users don't see those auto modded comments that come in. But yes, we get a lot of random comments like that got to get
Like
edited out.
it goes from like 2 to 10, 15 a day. Depends on what's going on.
And then if they wanted to hear podcast, like an emergency podcast about players we've bought or sold, they would go to anywhere you could get podcasts, right? Like Apple,
Yes.
Spotify, SoundCloud, Stitcher,
Shades
and
of
then
Blue, KC Soccer Journal, Keeping
uh-huh,
Current with Kansas
uh-huh,
City, On the Blue
uh-huh.
Turf. Although apparently some people cannot listen to them. Cody, do we ever get that worked out?
Yeah, I looked at that. I need to message that guy again. I think it's a him thing because no one else is having that
Right.
problem. But
I
I'll
tried it
figure
from
that
all
out.
different kinds of places.
Yeah.
Don't want to air
Yes.
the dirty laundry, but sometimes people have glitches. Sometimes it's their phone, their computer, they probably should get off of Windows 10. I don't know.
And we can't afford to lose one listener who wants to listen to us. So
I know. So you know what? Maybe we should send Carrie to help him.
So, baby
Look,
birds, we are little baby birds in the palm of David Lee. Any other final thoughts that do you want to put a bow on the roster moves that you've seen and give us some maybe optimism going forward?
I will say I may not agree with every single move that's been made. However, I think he has done them with great reason and purpose and knowledge and a plan. And I will say that in the future, if a coach comes in, this is not the coach's team; it's David Lee's team. So you come in and you're not a good coach. You come in and you can't coach those players. Bye bye. David Lee finds a replacement.
All right. Thad's connections game. Thad, do you have a bit of a sniffle right now?
I do, man. I apologize. I'm trying to like mute when I have sniffles. I actually have a really bad cold, so I had a cough drop in. I took Dayquil before, well, Fakequil before this, um, and yeah, it's been a rough couple weeks, man.
The nose makes you look very jolly. Like I can see the red. You got the red nose from here. I hope you're feeling okay. I appreciate you
This is
coming in for
way
this.
better than I was a couple days ago. But
That's good.
So Thad took Dayquil. I think
Dayquil,
a more fun game than what we're about to play could be if we all took NyQuil and fought through the drowsiness to play a game and talk about sporting.
and then had to answer Thad's trivia
Yeah.
questions.
you know,
So,
I once took NyQuil and muscle relaxers. It's not a wise choice.
yeah, I also think I one time drank too much NyQuil, and then for the first time ever, learned what anxiety is. Like I never knew. I think I'm lucky in that realm. I always hear people talking about it. I understand it's serious, but I never fully understood it until I took too much NyQuil. Anyway,
Don't do shots of NyQuil, man. Don't do shots of
Thad's
NyQuil.
connections game. Are you ready for this? Do you have a new name yet? I gave you a whole segment to come up with a new name.
You know, I will go with connections, but it is not related to the New York Times connections games, which I play every day.
It's your
But
own. I know.
there is a
Connections is a great
connection.
game.
It's something significant in soccer history related to Kansas City. So
Okay.
what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you a player, and I'm not expecting you to get this right in one or two. So maybe
One
we just got to.
player. You're
Well, I'm
giving
going
us
to tell you a
one
player,
single player.
and
Okay.
then I'll tell you another player until you want to make a guess. And I will tell you players that might be on different teams. So there
And the
is more than one team.
guess, and the guess that we're guessing is
What this game was.
what game these players played in.
Right.
and like the
But
year.
Carrie's getting nervous over here.
I am. All of the important games happened when I was in middle school.
Well, no,
That
hold on,
can't
hold
be.
on, hold on. Because Thad's an original 96er. So Thad's also going to ask us a bunch of questions about games when Cody and I were also children and you
Right.
weren't even a twinkle in anybody's eye, Carrie.
Right. He
And
needed
so,
Robert here.
yeah,
for
we
this
need
game,
Robert
I
here to be like,
think.
oh, I remember being
know.
old in 1997. Let me tell you about what happened when the Wizards played the Chicago Fire.
Oh man, you got it. No, wait, kidding. I will say that you most likely were in school when this event happened.
Okay. How many events are there? How many games do we have?
This is just one game. You got to figure out this one
Oh,
game.
okay.
Okay. Oh,
Okay. And who was in
okay.
school? Because there's different eras.
All right, I'm going to lead off with
Yes, just jump in, please.
Bobby Convey was in this game.
Oh, this is gonna be a long game for
The
me.
Man U friendly.
No,
Okay.
Matt Beasler was in this game.
The Man U
Okay.
friendly.
Okay, narrowed it down a little bit.
No.
What year was Matt Beasler, David? When did we
A
draft him?
lot.
Like 2012?
12. No, 11 or 10, because he had one season as a wizard.
Right.
I
Okay,
know that
yeah.
much.
Yeah, good job.
That is where it starts for me. Actually, that's a few years before.
We
but
have pictures of him in Wizards jerseys, so I think that makes him 2011. Okay, thank you, Thad. We're just working it out over here. Go on.
That's fine. That's fine. Scott Seeley was in this game.
No clue.
You don't know?
I've never heard that name in my life.
Nope.
Oh, I will give you a hint. He played for both teams, not in the same game.
Wait, wow. Okay. Okay. Okay, that's a good hint. There are people of a certain age that are calling all of us three stupid right now because we don't know those names.
Yeah,
Against Roberts.
I don't think it's so bad yet.
Okay.
Jimmy Conrad was on the roster for this game.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Graham Zusi was in the game.
Okay, so we're on like
First game at the stadium. First game at Children's
Oh,
Mercy Park.
that's a great one, David.
You are not correct.
Okay, so I think we're maybe on that okay, a notable game. He's not gonna do like some regular season game on us, is he? It's gotta
This
be
is
like
gonna be like the last game at that baseball stadium.
Ooh, Carrie, that's a great one.
Birahim Diop.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
So I think we're at Children's Mercy.
We
No?
are. Thomas
Okay.
Shavar.
Okay, maybe not.
Jonathan Leathers.
There's a lot of names here that I don't know that I would know if it was Children's
Chris
Mercy.
Wondolowski.
Shut up. Okay, so we played. Okay, here we go. That helps. It took me a second. So he played for one team his entire life, pretty much, right? Do I have that wrong?
I think you're right.
So it's Sporting KC versus San Jose is where we're at, Carrie and David.
Right. And I would think that probably
it?
at this point, Jimmy Conrad is probably on. If we're thinking sporting era, then Jimmy Conrad is an earthquake.
Hold on.
Oh,
What year
I
did
hadn't considered that. He would throw a curveball like that to us.
hold
What-
on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on.
When did he retire?
Most of these dudes. Thad, was this an international game?
No.
Good question, David.
Good question. Eric Kronberg.
Oh my gosh. So we're way later than I was.
Jimmy
20
Nielsen.
So the 2012 US Open Cup.
No. Not an international game.
The U.S. Open Cup's not an international
You're
tournament.
right. You're right.
Do
Sorry.
we call that international?
No, you're right. You're right. I jumped the gun there.
Okay, I need to
Grady
stick with San
Ayabusi.
Jose. Great name.
Craig Rocastle.
These have to be San Jose players. I don't know these humans.
No, those are all Kansas City players.
Ooh,
I'll give you the full
Did he
lineup
just give
for-
us a hint? He didn't say Sporting Kansas City. He said Kansas City.
I will give you the full lineup that started the game for Kansas City. Kronberg, Beasler, Leathers, Shavar, Espinoza, Ayabusi, Jewsbury, Arno, Myers, Zusi, and Diop.
Okay, so the ballpark era.
Last
Yeah,
game at
I
Cab.
like that.
It was the
Well-
last game at Cab, yes. But it's significant
Wait.
for yet another reason.
So that was it. We got it. I thought someone guessed that earlier. Didn't
I
David?
said that.
She
guess
said it must have been around that. She did not say it is that. I was
Oh,
very
I
careful.
thought I said that was it, but
I thought she did too. Okay,
With that
we got
lineup,
it.
no
All
wonder it was
right.
the last game at Cab.
That was a good notable game to do that. That was,
However,
that was...
there's one more. One more. Who
There's
won
one
the
player.
how-
Connection.
Who won the game?
Hmm.
The Wizards.
No, I'm gonna
Yes.
say the earthquake. Okay, dang it.
The Wizards. The score was 4-1. Wizards. One player scored 3 goals.
Diop
Yes.
nailed it.
I for one did not see that coming.
Put him on the wall.
So here's the deal with Diop. That's a name that I know rings bells in a lot of Sporting Kansas City brains, but that
Yes.
was the era where I was away at college, and I'll admit I had checked out. That was like a 4-year period where I checked out, and so I just know that people love Diop, and so that's why I guessed him. I was like, he must have had some heroics at some point. He was short-lived, right? He wasn't here very long.
Like 4 years. Well, like
See, I
three,
don't-
three. Well, yeah, no, 2010, 2011, I think. 2010, 2011. He was in MLS in 2002 under Octavio Zambrano, who brought him to the Wizards. And so he played for the Wizards in 2010, 2011. But yeah, he had two magnificent games that year at Cab. He was very, very close to being let go because they just he wasn't really performing all that well. And he was like a midfielder defender, but they needed somebody to play forward because they didn't have anybody. So they threw him at forward and he scored two goals and an assist. And then a little bit later in the year, he scored a hat trick. And then that was pretty much the last thing he did.
That was a
He
great
scored
game.
five
Thank you for
goals
that.
and two ahead.
I'm torn between having Robert and Mike play this game with you because it might just be too easy. Like Mike might have just gotten that instantly. Well,
It
I
would have
carry
taken three players. If that's why I kept Diop towards the end.
I think Carrie
But
got it pretty quick, if we're being honest.
yeah, no, I was very proud that you said it. Maybe you did say it was it, but I thought you said something like
No,
it
it was worth it
sounds
for the
like it, but you
content.
didn't like make the guess. So
Yeah.
I just
Well,
kept going, trying to keep it going. So
Yeah.
when David said it was the first game at Children's Mercy, I said, okay, well, if it's not that one, then it's got to be the last one at
Yeah.
so
the ballpark.
Any of the
if you,
trophies
I
would
give
have
you
been
credit.
too easy. That was good, Thad. Well done. I think we're
That
gonna have to do that
was
one again.
that was 4 years before I started watching the team.
And
Chris
where were you in
Wondolowski.
2010? Like, what grade?
I don't know, elementary school.
That's why I said you were in school earlier.
Is it wrong that I still, upon hearing the name Chris Wondolowski, that I go right to his miss in the World Cup instead of his years and years of goals that he scored and set the record, I think, at one point, and all I can think of is him missing the sitter, and we would have beat Belgium. And the thing that sits with me more than that is more than his miss is Clint Dempsey's reaction to it. You can just see he's just standing right next to him, and he just goes, "Wando." You can read his lip, like it was just, how could you do this?
I don't
Never
think you're in
forget.
the wrong because my sisters still mention how bad Michael Bradley was that game.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I never forgave Wondolowski, but so of interest to me, at least, three players in that game on San Jose were either former Kansas City or became Kansas City later. Later, Kari Stevenson and Scott Seeley, and then Bobby Comby. So the first two were previous Kansas City Wizards players, and then Comby came over at a later point. And then, of course, Jimmy Conrad was also a former San Jose player back before that.
And Carrie knew that one too. Good job, Carrie. That's a good game. You're a treasure trove of knowledge of sporting Kansas City, soccer, history. And I feel like we should lean into this more. I should put more work on your shoulders to organize things like this. I'm sorry we were so bad at it.
No, that's okay.
Hey,
I
speak
could
for
have just
yourself,
said Carrie
Cody.
was right, but I wanted to keep it going. So I'm going to give Carrie credit for winning this game for sure.
Carrie wins for
Whoa,
sure.
whoa.
Piss off, David.
Hold on.
David, you were useful. You had good guesses. Carrie won.
Pause. No.
David, I
no.
went based off your
Because-
guess.
Because in Jeopardy,
You get an assist, but
Jeopardy's not like close enough. You get the answer right. One person says it like the singular, it's wrong. Then the next person buzzes, then it's plural. They're right. I got it.
This
I
was a
win.
team effort. We were all
No,
in a
because-
team to defeat that.
David, yours was a different stadium.
True.
No, but
It was not plural.
but you didn't actually make a guess.
Okay, we got other soccer to talk about. I don't need to hear David squabbling about how he lost. What do you got? Thad?
and one last thing was it was the 15th anniversary of it, like yesterday or the day before of that game.
That's
The
good.
last game is the Wizards.
Thad,
First
where
game
were your
before.
seats at Cab?
First base side. It
So a
sucked.
long way away.
But that's when it was at Cab is when I started to do shooting. So there was a lot of games where I would go shoot the first half and then I would go up into the stands and sit with the family for the second half. Because for one, my camera wasn't very good to do when it got dark. The lighting there sucked. And I had to learn how to shoot better. And two, my daughter would be upset if I didn't go and sit with her. So
For those that don't know, we probably don't say this enough. I don't know how many people know Thad's history. Thad's been around so long. There was no one covering soccer practices here. He just was like a guy that liked the team. He had a camera. He went out and just started taking pictures, and no one else was doing it.
because I used to post on Big Soccer, and it would be so funny. Like I'd post something, and then I started a blog and start posting them there. But people would start doing CSI stuff. there's a trialist at training today, and he has a tattoo. He looks German.
Oh man,
It was
Carrie,
so
that's
funny.
a big soccer era is also before my time, but that is the only place that is where the American soccer community
Yeah.
was at a
You,
certain point, was just these chat boards. And I never saw any of that, but
you used to go there to find out like what was going on in Open Cup games because it wasn't anywhere
oh
else.
yeah.
It wasn't on Twitter because it didn't exist. It wasn't on the news. It wasn't on the websites. Somebody would go to the game and then find a connection and start posting updates on Big Soccer for games like an Open Cup and stuff like that.
Was it as toxic as Twitter?
It sounded like it. Yeah, I hear a lot of
Yes,
like laments about big soccer. So
there
yeah.
there is still a person who I know the person's name. I remember their handle on Big Soccer, who I think if I ran into today, I would still just give them so much crap because they were such an asshole. And probably I was too, quite honest. So to be fair, but one of the reasons he thought that the Kansas City Wizards was losing was because they put yellow piping on the jerseys. Yellow is not a Kansas City color, and thus they were doomed to lose.
Don't the Royals have gold?
Mm,
Don't
Isn't
ask me,
aren't
man.
The Chiefs like they like yellow? It's not an official color, but it's like a quasi color, yeah? Carrie's got yellow
Yeah.
on her ugly sweatshirt right now.
No, I think it makes sense to say that that's why, because I have a list in my phone of little things is why Sporting KC is bad.
Okay, that's a segment right there.
And
yeah.
how
We
many of
need to
them were
see that
Jansen
list.
Miller had hair and now he's bald and we're back?
No, none of them are about Jansen.
Well, I guess it should be now.
Yeah, we're diving into that. We got a long off season here. We're gonna dive into that list, Carrie.
I told him about how you mistaked who he was when you went to the away game and he had no hair and you thought it was a new trialist or new signing or something.
Yeah, I talked to him after one of the games and came clean about that.
Yeah, so
Dad, what
he
was
thought
your
you were
blog
crazy.
originally called?
Oh,
Backpost.net.
oh.
Hmm.
And then it was the Daily Whiz.
I wrote for some other places in between.
The Daily
And
Whiz was the first name of our current iteration of the website. Such a good name, but the team was refusing. Yeah, because they retweet and share our stuff so often now. But it was at the time, I think the thought was like they should
when
change that so the team would share it.
when we write good articles, they do sometimes share them, but the comms team does it, not the primary Twitter account.
Okay. So that was Thad's origin story. And I guess I didn't finish that entirely. You were just the only one there. You were taking pictures, and eventually somebody was like, "Hey, here's a media credential for you," and then the rest is history.
Well, I saw somebody else like at the game shooting, and I'm like, how the hell are they doing this? Because they're less anything than me. So I asked, and they said, yeah, you can shoot. And after a while, I said, well, if I'm now shooting games, does that mean I'm real media? I'm like, well, I said, does that mean I can do interviews? They said, yeah, okay, but no first team players, but you can talk to like, rookies and stuff like Beasler, Espinoza, Zusi, or, front office staff like this guy named Vermees. So I couldn't talk to Nalfo, but I could talk to Vermees.
That was good stuff. Okay,
And now
thank you
you
for that,
run a
Gabe.
media empire, Thad.
True that.
Yes, and I'm so well loved.
We'll be right back. All right, final segment here. We're going to dive into some women's soccer. We've got national team stuff. We've got current to talk about. Carrie, why don't you give us something to discuss? What's on your mind at the moment?
I am trying to get credentialed for the women's national team game, and that is what I'm concerned with right now because they put me up in Hartford, Connecticut instead.
Oh no.
Did you click the wrong button?
I might have
I think it's
accidentally,
user error.
but probably. To be fair, I was doing it in an airport, so
So tell us
that
about the game that you would
fathoms.
like to go to and not the one in Hartford.
Yeah. Are they still playing Portugal? I believe. No, this one's New Zealand.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry. Usually they do the same teams throughout the entire window, but this one
Yeah.
they switched it up.
Right.
Well, because it's
Um,
3 games. So 2 against Portugal and
yes.
once against New Zealand.
Yes. Definitely hoping that Labonta, gets more minutes than 5 that she did in the last game. Despite being just an injury replacement, there's a reason why Emma called her up
Yeah.
because of a Kansas City match.
Yeah.
So,
Okay. Any other things that we're looking for specifically as they're scrimmaging and trying to get the lineup right?
I
Well,
mean, it's hard to kind of just put into perspective that this is still a very young team and they're rebuilding from an empire that dominated women's soccer.
Yeah.
Um, and so it kind of sucks to, get scored on, only have 2-1 matches, 1-1 matches, losing matches even. Um, but it is also a little concerning with the World Cup happening, I guess, in 2 years. But this is kind of the lineup that you're gonna expect Emma to start trying to dial in.
yeah, that first game against Portugal, they went with kind of an older lineup, and then they lost 2-1. They went with a younger lineup in the next game, and they won 3-1. So it was a very young lineup. Lots of 18, 19, 20, 21-year-olds in that lineup. When they play New Zealand, obviously you never know who's going to be starting or on the substitute bench, but a Kansas City player, Katie Bowen, is when I say Kansas City player, she played for FC KC and briefly
Casey
back with the
Woso.
current, yeah, KC Woso, but she was on the bench for their game against Mexico a couple days ago.
And the current have one game remaining. They're facing off San Diego Wave on the 2nd. That's a Sunday, yes?
Yeah,
Yes.
2 p.m.
Anything relevant in this game, or it's just hope nobody gets hurt and make sure they get to the playoffs? Okay.
It'd be good if they won the next game because they're on a losing streak.
They've never been on a losing streak, I don't think.
They're already locked into first.
Yeah.
I mean, not even close to anybody else, but I think it's relevant for, so Kansas City's number 1, Washington's locked in at 2, but then 3 through 8 and the playoff bracket is undecided. Orlando's sitting in 3rd with 39 points. Racing Louisville's in 8th with 34 points. Obviously, Louisville can't catch Orlando, but the Rain are 1 point out of 3rd. The Wave are 2 points out of 3rd. The Thorns are 2 points out of 3rd, and Gotham is 3 points out of 3rd. So there's a lot of congestion, and it's going to be a really important weekend to finalize the bracket. And we could have any number of different matchups.
Thad, what is the latest on Temo Chawinga?
We really haven't heard anything new, so just that she was hurt and it was a more of a muscle injury, but that's really all we've heard.
So no idea of how long she's expected to be out. Are they worried they'll be starting the playoffs without her?
I think they have to be worried. So they are such a better team when they have her available, even if she doesn't score a goal, just how much she will press and run back on defense and everything else for somebody who does. She's just good at every single thing. I don't think they need to put her in goal though.
And because when she's out there, the entire defense has to focus on her, and that means everything for everybody else.
Also, apparently Davinia picked up a knock in that last game also, so she didn't go off to Brazil for their international games. However, Bia did, and she got a goal and assist in their 1 win.
Against England. It's good to know.
So I don't know off the top of my head how the schedule of the NWSL playoffs work. Home field advantage, I imagine, all throughout until the final. How many games is that?
2 games.
3. Oh,
3
yes,
games.
2.
2 games.
2 games before the final.
Sorry.
And is that because they have a bye?
No.
No.
It's
No, I just
1
forgot.
versus 8, 2, 7, etc. So
There used to be a bye, and then it would make the top 2 teams automatically go to semifinals, and then
Right.
it was kind of dumb because they constantly made it to the final.
You don't say.
All right, 3 wins away.
4, kind of.
Well, we don't need this one.
Okay, but it would be nice.
yeah, it would be good. Also, this game will be significant because they hand out a little teal-headed Temois bobblehead.
No way, really?
Yeah, first 5,000
Oh, what a
fans.
great they did that a fairly quick turnaround too. What a great giveaway. Nice job for the current there.
I think this is a question I wanted to ask before, but if there was any player on one of the current teams, who would you want as a bobblehead? But Temois obviously would have been a prime number 1, and there's really nobody left on Sporting to want that at the moment. I mean, Dayon, I guess.
And to have the green hair too, or the turquoise hair, that's legit.
David was a shoppy bobblehead.
Oh yeah, the Selly Queen bobblehead. That'd be a good one too. Except it wouldn't be the head that would bobble, it would be another part of her.
Roger's gonna beat the shit out of you.
I'm telling Roger.
I think Lo would like that idea, right?
So if I could pick a bobblehead, a Kansas City Soccer bobblehead, like limited edition, can't get it ever again, Jansen Miller with hair bobblehead.
Yes.
It was
With-
such a narrow window.
And he
When
has
he
to
was in
have
high
the
school?
collar,
There will
the
be
accountant
years
collar.
after he has won multiple trophies for this team and MVPs as a center back for this team. We will laugh at the time we used to make fun of him as an accountant.
Hopefully that comes true. Hopefully that comes true.
Okay.
But yeah, if you got a
manifest.
shoppy one, would it be like 3 inches high?
It would be like one of those like horror movies, like Annabelle, where you have to lock the doll in a glass case.
Yeah, shopping one does kind of scare me, actually.
You wake up and the Shappy bobblehead's got a knife standing next to your bed.
Does the knife
Okay.
is what moves instead of the head?
Well, the hunchback would make the head bobbling difficult. Like there's not a lot of room for it to move. You
It's
know?
all nightmare fuel.
Okay. Any other final thoughts on the state of men's or women's soccer in Kansas City before we get out of here?
The Current are going to win 2-0. There will be an early goal, then a long period of it being boring, then a late goal to make it 2-0. Carey will be miserable because of that.
Is
And
Temo
then
Chawinga playing in this game?
Nobody will ever break their record.
I hope not. Hope she gets arrested, man. Hopefully
Okay.
she's like have some kind of magic thing, like making everything heal and bubble wrap. And
We
So
better
we
hope
are
that
assuming-
she pulls him at homes.
Yeah. We are assuming she's not playing this weekend, right? If there's any question at all, I don't know why you would put her out there.
we'll probably find out in a day or two. So,
Okay. Thad, thank you for letting us dive into your knowledge about soccer.
I looked it up, man. I just had the idea. I looked it up. It was on Transfer Market and ESPN, quite honestly. So it's not like I knew all those players off the top of my head. I don't have that good memory.
Okay, it's a big time for the Current. It's a big time for Sporting KC and the history of that club. Do you have something prophetic as we've hit the off season, a big moment for the Current? Do you have something prophetic for the fans?
Current are going to be fun, and I think the Sporting rebuild will be very fun.
Sporting!
The other side don't seem so tough, and 3 own goals ain't all that rough. Our skipper has just been sent off. Some punter strong and ball comes off. My football team's got me drinking. My football team's got me drinking. My football team's got me drinking. Give me beer or whiskey, wine or gin, anything to shake this mood I'm in. My football team's got me drinking. My football team's got me drinking. My football team's got me drinking.